lovelies, welcome back to Zeni's Thought. My name is Zeni. If you are new to this channel, please do consider to subscribe. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always coming back, and thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate that. So guys, a few months ago, towards the ending part of last year, November, December to be precise, an X-rated video of a Nigerian politician known as Commissioner Willie Amadi circulated all over social media. Now before we go ahead, here is a brief introduction. Chief Willie Amadi is a lawyer. He is also currently serving as a commissioner, a public complaint commissioner precisely in Imo State, Nigeria. Chief Willie Amadi is a father. He is also a husband. He was a former advisor to the former governor of Imo State, Chief Ikedio Hakim. Chief Willie Amadi was born on 30th November 1962. So guys, back to the X-rated video. In the video, which was leaked on the internet, Willie Amadi was seen in bed with two undressed young ladies and a younger man. The commissioner was seen recording himself in the 12-second text tape, which captured his image and the images of the other participants. Although videoing himself in such an act is very derogatory and shameful, but on a second thought, I was like, he's an adult and he can do whatever he wants to do with himself as long as his wife doesn't have any problem with that. So fast forward to January 2021, a 20-year-old young man was arrested and convicted. It was announced all over the news that the young man confessed leaking the video on the internet. It was also alleged that the young man claimed to have superimposed one of the photos that Commissioner Willie Amadi took in the swimming pool to this X-rated video. Sincerely speaking, when I saw the news of the 20-year-old young man being arrested, I did not pay much attention to it. I thought that this was what Commissioner Willie Amadi came up with in order to save face. Until I saw this particular clip made by one of the pioneers of Nollywood, known as Hilda Dokubo Nrakpo. You guys should see the clip.
I don't know how many of you saw that sex video 2 weeks ago, starring a Federal Commissioner for Public Complaints, Imo State, Mr. Willie Amadi, and two background actors. At the time, it didn't mean anything. I don't start there again. But this weekend, that story took a new turn, a turn that gives concern. A 20-year-old boy has been jailed for 12 months. Over what? Blackmail and defamation of character by way of doctoring that video. In other words, superimposing a still shot from a swimming pool to a motion shot of a sex scene into one. Really? Mr. Madi? I mean, like, how did you get this done? In 2 weeks, you have identified a suspect, arrested him, investigated the case, arraigned him before a court, gotten judgment, even jailed him for 12 months. In 2 weeks, in Imo State, where till date, the Supreme Court is still deliberating on governorship matters from 2019 elections. Mr. Madi, really, what's going on? Are you paying this boy to take this fall on your behalf? Or have you yet again misused your office by abusing it further, by intimidating, bullying, harassing, coaxing, or whatever it is, to get a young 20-year-old to commit perjury in court with you, a lawyer, sitting complicit? Does that not call for your disband, Mr. Amadi? I started entertainment at the age of 8. I've been in Nollywood. I'm a pioneer of it from 1992. I'm a trained actor, director, casting director, acting coach, producer, director. And I know what I know, Mr. Amadi. What this boy is claiming to have done is not doable as today. There is no app to enable him to that. And if he has to even try any attempt, there has to be a cut. But this is a moving shot with no cuts. But let's even agree. For you to superimpose, you need a green screen. And you, Mr. Amadi, you need to be with that green screen, which makes you part of the conspiracy. So are you? So why don't you just stop this stretching of your lies and do the right thing? Apologize to the people and resign your office, the office that you have so grossly abused. Apologize, okay? Because you're not just a disgrace to yourself. You're a disgrace to yourself, your wife, your family, Imo State, and the federal government who found you worthy in the first instance to. But you know what? The federal government, they have something with the word Photoshop, so you can just keep them and run home to your family. Fall on your face and ask your wife to forgive you. If she's lenient, she might just, do that. But please, don't insult us, okay? Don't insult Nigerians who are from the scratch, have built up the knowledge of making and viewing pictures. Do the right thing, Mr. Amadi. Take your fall. It's your shame. Take full responsibility for it. That's the honorable thing to do.
Welcome back, lovelies. So guys, you have heard it. It is not just a mere fabrication or a mere bluff. A young man was actually imprisoned. I was still trying to digest the first clip I saw. Then, Hilda released yet another video. And in this video, more chilling revelation was exposed. You guys should also see the next clip.
A few nights ago, I posted a video about the conviction of 20-year-old Peter Walker. So, why did he so readily admit to have committed an offense that he neither has the ability or capacity to commit? Who extracted this confession? How and where was it extracted? Did Peter Walker know that this confession could lead to a jail term? Did he understand the implications of being a convict? Did he know the limitations that being an ex-convict would place over his dreams and aspirations? In fact, his entire future. The rejection, the stigmatization, the social distrust that he would have to endure for the rest of his life. Was he so readily willing to accept this punishment? Why was the entire process so rushed? How did it end up in Isu instead of Owerri? Too many questions begging for answers. And as a filmmaker and an actor, before you play a role, you are expected to understand the inner workings of the character, the mindset and belief of the character that you're about to play. In my quest, I found something very interesting.
How would you react to people who feel that we don't have rights in Nigeria?
No, we do have rights, but the enforcement of those rights is a different issue. People feel they don't have rights because, one, there are no strong institutions in Nigeria that can guarantee those rights. For example, if you go through torture, in police detentions, and all those things. And you have to go to the courts to prove that. You need a lot of pressure, on the system, the institution, to protect that right. And if you don't belong to the middle class or the ruling class, it's very difficult to achieve that. So people basically resign to their fate, believing that there is no right. There are rights. There are laws. The Constitution is there. And once they are breached, you can't, enforce your rights. But there again, you find out that there's a lot of money involved in trying to get access to justice, and then also to get justice from the system. Sometimes you say that justice denied, delayed is justice denied. And if you can't afford a very strong lawyer who can persuade the courts, for very short adjournments, and also compel them to, take their cases, it's become quite difficult to enforce a right. And the legal aid process in Nigeria is almost non-existent. So the less privileged really don't get those rights.
Mr. Willie Amadi is a lawyer who acknowledges the institutional decay in the legal system and knows exactly how to exploit same effectively. In his own words, the less privileged has no access to rights as contained in the Constitution. Peter Walker is poor, a nobody, the kind that the rich look at and say, I will deal with you and nothing will happen. He has no money. He can't afford a good lawyer. He has no powers. He can't put pressure on the system. And with the absence of a legal aid, he can't even get a representation. He can't prove in court what happened to him the 2 weeks before his sentence. Was he tortured? Too many questions begging for answers. But we cannot allow this horrifying precedents to be set, because it would lead to an ugly trend where the rich and powerful will continuously prey on the lives of our vulnerable, our less privileged, and our poor. Accuse them and jail them. So it is time for us as a people to stand up and voice out, defend our voiceless, our poor, our aged, our women, and our young people. We cannot allow the life of a 20-year-old to be smothered on the altar of one man's ambitious and crooked wet dreams. No, we cannot allow anyone to abuse our rights as a people. Nigeria needs builders and not destroyers. William Amadi'S When I learned who is Magistrate Chinyere Normele? Is she truly the first cousin of Mr. Willie Amadi? If the answer is yes, is there not a conflict of interest? And based on that, does the legal profession ethics not say she should recuse herself from the case, since she is now a prejudiced party of the case? If she has refused to recuse herself, or did not recuse herself, does that not amount to abuse of the profession's ethics and her position as magistrate? Questions begging for answers. What jurisdictional abracadabra moved the case from Owerri to Isu, where you have Mr. Willie Amadi's first cousin, Mrs. Normele, as magistrate? It can't be sheer coincidence, no. So why was she in a hurry to send this boy to prison? Is this because there's something to hide? Or what kangaroo process went on? Omwimo, There's a saying, "Amadu mechono, chie mechono." It is time for all of you to begin to demand justice and accountability. If we allow this 20-year-old to spend 12 months of his life in prison for admitting to have committed a crime that we all know is not technically possible for him to commit as at today, then we are helping set a precedence that will be destructive for Imo people. What it would mean is that any poor young boy or lady can be picked up, accused and made to confess, and then end up in prison. And we cannot let that happen. The judiciary is the last point of hope for the poor man. And Nigerians are hungry for justice, equity, and fairness. And we need to begin to stand there. So, again, let me ask, are there no lawyers in Owerri? Are there no human rights activists in Imo State? Is there no one who can stand up and appeal this case? Because from where I stand and the way that I see it, the only offense this young man may have committed is being poor and coming from a poor home.
So guys, you have seen and heard it all. There is nothing much more to say because Hilda has said it all. But what baffles me is why no one is talking about this thing except Hilda. Why is it that people are not demanding justice for this young man? With that, I'm going to leave you guys until next time when I will see you guys again. Do not forget that it is still I, Zeni, thinking out loud. It is Zeni's thoughts.